Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another DVD update. And lo and behold, this is one after a long while that is mostly stuff that I got myself. There's one item that a good friend sent me, which I'll talk about, but most of this is stuff that I got myself. So many times I talk about how I want to save up money to get stuff. Well, here's some of the stuff. Now, first off, uh, it's not here yet, of course, 'cause it's not out yet, but I actually got a bank. If you have enough reward, if you have enough points of something, you get a reward. And this was a $25 Amazon gift card. And at first, I was going to use the Amazon gift card it was $25 to get the Super Mario Brothers DVD from overseas because I liked the film. There's a DVD overseas in the UK. For those who don't know, from Second Sight Films. There's a Blu-ray, but I have a region-free DVD player, so I had only get the DVD. But it has like an hour-long documentary and other features. It came out November of last year. I was going to get that, but unfortunately the Amazon gift card only goes for the US. Doesn't go for the UK, which sucks because it's still fucking Amazon. So I didn't get that. One day I want to get the Super Mario Bros. DVD from overseas. But what I did use it on is I pre-ordered John Wick on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack or what, but I ordered the Blu-ray because I wanted it on Blu-ray. And I love John Wick. And that's coming out, I think, this upcoming week. So I should be getting that around, I don't know, Thursday, Friday, something like that. But hey, that's not a bad deal still. Pre-ordered John Wick. Love that film. My favorite film last year. Had to get that. And so I used it for that. So if you can imagine me holding the John Wick Blu-ray, that'll be coming soon. So I pre-ordered that. Also, they're not here yet, but I have two more DVDs coming in. One is the two wrestling DVDs. One is the DVD of Edge. You think you know me, the story of Edge, because I've been collecting a lot of wrestling documentaries and things like that. I have a pretty good collection of wrestling documentaries. So wanted to get that, as well as the Best of In Your House DVD. Those will probably come in the next day or two. But show you the stuff I have now. First off, I want to show something that my friend Efrey actually had sent me, who is a big fan of this movie. I had seen this film once a long time ago, long time ago. Wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I will give it another shot. And he sent me the 2-disc special edition of Savage Streets with Linda Blair. They raped her sister, killed her best friend, now she must seek revenge. And I know there was an older DVD that became out of print, so this is a newer DVD from Scorpion Releasing. And I want to give this film another look. Sometimes some films get better on the second watch, some don't. So I will give this another look and do a review for it, as well as talk about the DVD. I haven't watched anything yet. Well, but first off, this does have a reversible artwork, which if you actually turn this around, kind of like this one a bit better, but this one looks a little cooler. Their only law is an eye for an eye. And this one right here, which I think that's a pretty much of a cooler cover. Savage Streets. Now this does have, I guess, all the features from before. It has 3 audio commentary tracks. It has interviews from previous release with Linda Blair, Linnea Quigley, John Strong, Johnny Vonnegut, and Robert Dreyer. Includes brand new, never-before-seen interviews with cast members Scott Meyer, Sal Landy, Robert Dreyer, Johnny Vonnegut, and producer John Strong, exclusive to this release only. Watch this in Cat Scratch Cinema format with our hostess Katarina Lee Waters. Probably a little segment at the beginning giving some info on the film. But very packed DVD. If you're wondering, this is how they look on the inside. Disc 1 and Disc 2. So I'll give the film a look. I know I'm a fan of films like Class of 1984, but I'm going to give this film a look. And even if I don't like the film, this is still a really great DVD set. So I'll definitely keep it just for that. Plus, it's a gift from my good friend Efrey. But I'll be interested in giving this another look. And I will do a review for this. I don't know when, but it will be sometime before the month is over. That I guarantee. But that's Savage Streets, the 2-disc special edition. Thank you, Efrey, if you're watching. Very nice gift. Very, very good, very, very good friend. Now, other stuff I got. I talked about before how someone had sent me The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So I did get A Fistful of Dollars, which is the first one. Sort of a take on Yojimbo. And in a way, it was kind of remade later on in the Bruce Willis film Last Man Standing. And I love Last Man Standing. Never saw Yojimbo. Not really interested. Who knows? I might have seen it. I completely forgot, but I'm just not interested. But I do like this film. Watching it again, I did like it. Fistful of Dollars. And then the sequel, well, kind of sequel. They're not really related, but it's the part of the Man with No Name trilogy. For a Few Dollars More with Lee Van Cleef. A little bit too long, but not as long as the third one. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But I like this one. This is one that actually, I think I remember. There's snippets. This is one I saw way back when I was a kid, and for the longest time I only remembered snippets. And then when I watched this again, I'm like, oh yeah, this was the one that I saw when I was a kid. I always thought it was the first one, but no, it was For a Few Dollars More. And if someone asks, well, why don't you review these? It's kind of hard to review these kind of films because they're good because Clint Eastwood is a badass and great score by Ennio Morricone. It just has that mood and tone of, you know, that Sergio Leone gave to his films created the spaghetti western. Lee Van Cleef is good here as a good guy. Clint Eastwood is a badass. This one actually has a small appearance by Klaus Kinski, nicely enough. I will say my least favorite of the three is actually The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I stuck in there, so I know where it's at. The reason The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is my least favorite is that it's way too long. It's 2 hours and 35 minutes to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And Lee Van Cleef is not in it that much. I mean, he's part of the bad in the title, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But Lee Van Cleef, he's a little bit at the beginning, a little bit in the middle, a little bit at the end, but he's not in it enough to make a big impact. He has more of an impact in this film. He's not even playing the same character. This one, he's a good guy. That's why I mean it's kind of hard to call them sequels. They're just part of a trilogy that they're not really related. I mean, the bad guy in this is the same actor as the bad guy in this, but there's two different. They're bad guys, but it's two different characters. But I do enjoy For a Few Dollars More and A Fistful of Dollars. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly I liked okay, but it's just 2 hours and 35 minutes. And Lee Van Cleef, it seemed more like the Good and Ugly show, like Clint Eastwood and I think Eli Wallach. Seemed like more their show. It was just too long. There were parts that I thought could have been cut out, but still had a good finale. The showdown. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is where you get that famous wah wah wah. Because that piece of music is not in these two. There's other pieces of music which are really good as well. But Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is where you get that wah 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 na 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 wah wah. But still, good trilogy. I prefer these two. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was okay, but I do prefer these two. But still glad to have these in my collection. Now it makes me want to get more Clint Eastwood westerns because those are the only Clint Eastwood westerns I have. The only other Eastwood films I have is like Dirty Harry, In the Line of Fire, The Rookie, which I like, Every Which Way But Loose, and Any Which Way You Can. Those are Eastwood films I have. Now I gotta get more of his westerns because these are the only westerns I have. But I will do that down the road. Now going quickly so it doesn't take too long. The rest of these are wrestling DVDs. I think someone had mentioned me doing reviews, but I don't know if anyone would actually want to see me do reviews of wrestling DVDs. I don't know if enough people comment down below. I'll give it a shot, but I don't know if enough people would be interested. But anyway, I do know I want to sit down and watch all these in a marathon just for fun. But as for reviewing them, I don't know. if people are interested in, let me know in the comments. But I know down the road people want me to review WrestleManias and stuff. Those would take a lot longer. But, you know, one day I like to. But, again, feel free to let me know in the comments if you want me to review wrestling DVDs or stuff. But stuff I grabbed, again, I always wait till very cheap. Or I wait till I get enough money, and then I get them all in one go during a deal. Like Go Hastings, which are not always perfect, but they had like a 40% off deal of used items. And 40% off, and their shipping's only $1.30. That's not a bad deal at all when you get 40% off on stuff. So we got Brock Lesnar, the Collector's Edition of Here Comes the Pain, which is a 3-disc set. And I haven't watched these yet. I haven't had time, but has a documentary of Brock Lesnar and of course, a bunch of features and matches. Like his Iron Man match against Kurt Angle, King of the Ring Finals, match he had at the Royal Rumble, and so on. I do like Brock Lesnar. Here Comes the Pain. Next up is Starrcade, the Essential Collection, which that is Ric Flair, Sting, and Dusty Rhodes. This is from 1983 to 2000, 3-disc set. Includes stuff like Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair, Sting versus Hulk Hogan, Road Warriors versus Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA versus Tully Blanchard, Goldberg versus Kevin Nash, Ric Flair versus Harley Race, and so on and so forth. And I think it has a documentary as well. And it's also a 3-disc set. That's the bit here, and pretty much on full it's a 3-disc set. Next up, it is a Bret Hart DVD. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Has again a documentary, but also has matches like Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs, and versus the Rockers, Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And once again, this is, I believe, a 3-disc set. Seems to be the normal amount of discs in these sets. I enjoy Bret the Hitman Hart. He's a very good wrestler. It's one of those guys who could pretty much put on a good match with anyone. Next up, I got the DVD of Andre the Giant. This one's actually a 1-disc set, which has a little documentary. I don't think it's too long, but still, at least it's something. I don't usually go for that, but also does have matches as well, which you can't see because it's a bit too white. But an 18-man battle royal versus Gorilla Monsoon from back in the day. Andre the Giant, Jimmy Snuka versus the Wild Samoans. Versus Ken Patera. Versus Jack Evans, Johnny Rods, and Joe Butcher Nova. Just to see Andre the Giant back in the day and his... both in his prime and a little bit later. Mostly these are older. Like the latest one it has on the back is 1985. So, be very cool to see Andre the Giant. And speaking of which, the Big Show, which I did not pay the price on here, it was much cheaper. But the Big Show at Giants World, 3-disc set. Yeah, it has a documentary, has matches, some of them from his WCW days, as well as WWE days. Like the Giant versus Hulk Hogan at Halloween Havoc, him versus Ric Flair in Nitro, him versus Steen on Slamboree, Big Show versus Steve Austin on Raw in 1999, Brock Lesnar in 2002, Survivor Series, and so on and so forth. But that is the Big Show at Giants World. The Shawn Michaels story, Heartbreak and Triumph. Say what you will about him, personal-wise. This guy is a very talented wrestler who puts on some really good matches. So that's why I wanted to check out the documentary on him, as well as have some matches on him. And once again, sort of the usual the norm, 3-disc set. I'm sure there's other DVDs, but from what I understand, this is the best one. Again, the Shawn Michaels story. Heartbreak and Triumph. Then did some more. Rey Mysterio, 619. This is actually really cheap. This is $2 or something. But says it's about 3 hours long. Little documentary on Rey Mysterio, as well as a few matches versus Dean Malenko and his WCW debut. Chavo Guerrero. This is actually a time where, must have been a time where they actually mentioned Chris Benoit, because it's him versus Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. And of course, because the guy killed his family, it's understandable why they kind of don't want to mention him a lot. But this must have been before that. Forget what year that happened, to be honest. Could be absolutely wrong, though. Let's see. Go with another one. Twist of Fate, the Matt and Jeff Hardy story. Which actually they did an interesting way. They have one DVD about Matt Hardy, and then one DVD about Jeff Hardy. But I remember these guys being very talented. And, of course, documentary about them, as well as a few matches. Mainly their individual matches. You get about 2 or so tag teams matches they were in as well, which that's pretty cool. Next up we have the Spectacular Legacy of the AWA, American Wrestling Association. Of course, on there you have Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, Jerry the King Lawler, Mean Gene Okerlund, The Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. You have Mr. Perfect, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Hulk Hogan. Which this is actually a 2-disc set. Then it does have a documentary, bunch of matches, Hulk Hogan versus Mr. Sato and Mr. Hattori, Vern Gardner and Mad Dog Vachon versus Jesse the Body Ventura and Adrian Adonis. Hulk Hogan versus Nick Bockwinkel. Yeah, been interesting to see Hulk Hogan way back in the day, as well as see people like Jesse the Body Ventura. I know Jesse Ventura, but I've never actually seen him wrestle, so this will be interesting to see that. Next up, since, like I said at the beginning of this, I did order the best of In Your House, which will be coming in a day or two. Who knows, maybe when I get that, I'll show that off with the other two, do like a little quick update just for the fuck of it. But I did get the best of King of the Ring. Of course, you have Edge, Brock Lesnar, Booker T, who I like, Kurt Angle, William Regal. Then you have Sheamus, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, Triple H, Ken Shamrock. For more than 20 years, the King of the Ring has been a favorite tradition of the WWE Universe. Well, apparently not, because they don't do King of the Ring anymore. Not sure what year they stopped. But here you go. With that. I don't know, maybe Sheamus was the last King of the Ring. I don't know. But I believe it is a 3-disc set. It has a bunch of matches on there. Bret Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow, Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Jake Roberts, Goldust versus Ahmed Johnson, Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell match, Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle in that street fight, which was actually pretty good. Bobby Lashley versus Booker T, CM Punk versus William Regal, Jeff Hardy versus X-Pac, Edge versus Kurt Angle. Just a lot of matches involved. Sorry about that, folks. Next up, I did get the 2 Oh My Gods, and if you're wondering what that is, it's Oh My God Volume 1, the top 50 incidents in WWE history. Once again, a 3-disc set. Pretty much self-explanatory. Made from Roddy Piper hitting the coconut on Jimmy Snuka, to Brock Lesnar suplexing the Big Show and the ring collapsing, to Jake the Snake Roberts having a snake that bites Macho Man, to a lot of stuff Stone Cold did. Just a lot of fun moments from WWE history. This is when Edge did the spear on Mick Foley onto a table that was on fire. And I mainly got that because I wanted this one. Oh My God Volume 2, the top 50 incidents in WCW history. And of course, that moment is from when the company was bought and Shane McMahon had Nitro. But yeah, it shows a lot of the crazy incidents in WCW history. From David Arquette winning the title to RoboCop. Yes, RoboCop helping Sting out of a cage. I haven't seen this yet, but this will be even more interesting. And I think it also has a lot of the matches that was involved during that as well, which will be interesting. Like San Francisco 49ers match for the vacant WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Booker T versus Jeff Jarrett. Yeah. This is definitely be very interesting to watch. I'm sure it's going to be them sort of talking shit about WCW, but it'd be interesting to watch those moments. And speaking of WCW, the rise and fall of WCW, which I heard some pretty bad things about. Just the fact the documentary isn't the most complete documentary, but wanted this for the collection. Yeah, it's the rise and fall of WCW. I know there's like the very best of Nitro, Volume 1 and 2. Maybe one day down the road I'll pick those up, but as you can see, I got a lot, so now I gotta save up again. There's a lot I want to get. There's the stuff on my wish list I want to get. There's Super Mario's DVD from overseas I want to get, and this other stuff. So just gotta save up again. And then wait for the best time for the deals. But this does have a documentary, and once again, it is a 3-disc set. And it does have matches as well, including Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone versus Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman, Goldberg versus DDP, Rey Mysterio versus Dean Malenko, Ric Flair versus the Giant, which I think it's on some of those, Rick Rude versus Sting, Ric Flair versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, so on and so forth. And I do have the ECW. Is it called The Rise and Fall of ECW? But I do have it. That's a really good one. From what I know that's a really good one, and from what I heard, that's definitely going to be a better one than this. But still, I wanted this for the collection. So there's my DVD update, which took 25 minutes. Damn. Thought it'd be a little quicker, but oh well. So other than those, and again, I pre-ordered John Wick. That'll be on the way. And then I got the best of In Your House and the DVD of Edge. Thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again, F3, for Savage Streets. I will give that a look sometime down the road. If you want to see wrestling DVD reviews, feel free to let me know. If not, then I won't. And as for what's next, that will be a surprise, which is the way I like it. It's more open, but we will see. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.